Welcome SSC 100 students. This is my week 12 commentary in our 15 weeks plus Thanksgiving week of this fall semester. This week we are dedicated to exploring the issues of data reduction and analysis without getting traumatized by them. By that I mean often students dread, quote, statistics, unquote, when I think proper training would allow students to see the path whereby these very abstract tools become sensible. So I encourage you to look at chapter 10 in the spirit of Lueker's Dancing in the Social Sciences without getting associated with the usual traumas of this kind of area. Data analysis, of course, can get terribly technical, and at the graduate level or in professions of social science, this is reasonable. However, introduction to social science is another matter. So really, the key for this week is to focus on the concepts of reduction and analysis. Reduction means essentially the simplification of data. It's a summary, if you would, and then analysis, of course, means the breaking apart. Analysis literally means to break apart data into causal or correlational patterns that help us to predict the future or understand the past. So, all that being said, the second major point for this week, of course, is that there's quantitative data, which is what the traditional statistics course addresses, and then there's qualitative data analysis, which is a very different matter. So in this week's folder, there is a rather odd slide set that I have identified and put there for your inspection. It's interesting because it's a machine-generated voice reading the slides, and it does include a very concise but dry introduction to qualitative data analysis. So focus primarily on Lueker, chapter 10. Don't let yourself be traumatized by what you've heard about statistics. And really, if you get the concepts of data reduction and then the idea of analysis, breaking down patterns that allow for prediction and understanding. That alone is really the aspiration here. This week I'll be grading your test 2s. As you know, the deadline was extended to Veterans Day due to our weather issues. I will grade test 2 this week. Also test 3, the prep notes now are available. And given that we are on week 12 of 15, I would download those this week for sure. Finally, as far as beginning to focus on good endings, please post your plans for workshop 3 if you haven't already done so. There is a required oral presentation that you'll need to complete for a grade in this course, and either you'll be at the workshops either Saturday or Sunday, or you'll organize a peer group alternative, and now is the time to do that organizing. And of course, call me if you have concerns or need assistance with that. Lastly, as we have been doing in the past month or so, I want to introduce you to one of the premier areas of the social sciences that many have either only heard of or never heard of, and that's demography. Demography is, in one sense, a very old interdisciplinary field of study, but it's terribly important today as we try to understand population patterns and population behavior. So please take the time to explore the links I provided in this week's folder. I think you'll find them often genuinely interesting, and frankly, for any educated person, if you do not understand demographic trends, then you are really disadvantaged. So I hope we'll discuss those and you'll find them worthwhile. The image on our webpage this week is from the Social Science Data Analysis Network that looks at U.S. Census population data. I shared that link and that image with you so that you could see what the 21st century is bringing forth as far as collective data analysis. And it's a brave new world in many ways. And again, that will not show up on your tests, but may be helpful on the discussion board as we go forward. Okay, so that will do it for today. Please don't hesitate to call me. I'd like to help you. Some of you are starting to reach out on your course projects, but frankly, being that this is a 100-level course, if you don't take advantage of this consultation, it'll be much more difficult than it needs to be. So I can help you make this project more doable as we apply what Luker has been teaching us about moving from an interesting or useful case to small research questions having many limitations. More on that if we talk by phone. Have a good week.